Friday, May 3rd, Saturday, May 4th, if you're on the East Coast, across the pond, or down under. And this, my friends, is Spaced Out Radio. Hope you had a great day and night heading into the weekend. I am your host, Dave Scott, broadcasting to you live from the Great White North, on top of the mountains of central British Columbia, right here at SOR headquarters. We welcome you to tonight's show, including Deep Talk Radio and Revolution Radio. If you want to take a listen to our archives, they are free for you at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, but you got to wait on those because our new site is being built as we speak. Tonight's show is brought to you by the YouTube channel in Suho. Sebastian Martin brings high-quality messages to the masses. Head to our website, click on the In Suho banner, and subscribe today. It's the first Friday of the month, which means we'll keep our ears to the radio and our eyes to the stars, as it's time once again for the ET Connection. Joining us tonight is R. Keith Andrews, a lifelong experiencer of the strange and unusual, as we break down some of the strangest and most peak-woo topics we can find when it comes to ET contact, alien species, ET abductions, hybrids, and disclosure. A native of Kelowna, British Columbia, Keith has experienced the good, the bad, and the downright ugly when it comes to his own ET experiences. Now, he helps counsel people who are wondering about their own contact. Then at the bottom of hour number 3, I will bring you the SOR Newswire, brought to you by Paranoia Magazine. Mr. R. Keith Andrews, always a pleasure to have you on the show. How's your May going so far?
And a pleasure to be back. Well, so far, let's just say today has been rough. However, good to be back.
It's very good.
Yeah.
Very good. Now, you were having some technical difficulties with your computer at home, but the main thing is we are able to get you on the cell phone. So the quality may not be there, but the main thing is you are here, and we're going to do our best tonight with you. Now, Keith, we always have new listeners tuning on in for the first time. At what point in your life did you realize that you were an ET experiencer?
I actually didn't realize that was the reality behind it until I was about 18. And that came in a very odd fashion. I was actually in seeing a therapist for a major problem with short-term memory loss, using hypnotherapy as a way of opening the door, and uncovered the reality behind the images I'd been seeing for decades. Well, at that point, a decade and a half. You know, it was quite a shock to me and an even bigger one to him. You know, from there, it just got out of hand.
I can see that.
Yeah, I believe the comment he made when he first uncovered the problem was, "We have a problem." Of course, I looked at him and I said, "What do you mean we have a problem?" So, long story short, he looks at me and he goes, I happen to be a specialist in alien abductions, and you happen to be a victim of it.
Oh, that's pleasant.
Yeah, that wasn't quite the term I used. But I realize we're on the air, so we should keep it to the "that's pleasant" comment.
I hear you there, my friend.
Yeah, like,
so how did this open up your new paradigm of reality?
Well, the ironic part of it was it didn't actually change it. All it did was modify the labels I was using. Because prior to that, you know, all I knew was, the only few things I really knew was I knew what people were thinking. I knew what was coming into the house. Like trying to sneak things into the house for, you know, Christmas or birthdays, even according to my parents, was virtually impossible. And then, of course, with the racism, what have you, that boiled down to I had all these images in my head anyway, and it wasn't really, 18 years old was when I found out that that's what it was caused by. And it was about 5 years later, I went to a UFO conference down in Penticton, which is about an hour south of me, and was talking to somebody about the with the Roswell crash. And when we got talking, I laid out the site for her, and she looks at me and she goes, "Where did you find out about that?" I said, "I remember it." And she goes, "It's never been published." I said, "I didn't say that I read it. I said I remembered it." Turned out the woman I was talking to, her grandfather was actually at the site. And way later in his life, when he was ready to keel over, he had opened up to her about what had happened. So, needless to say, that opened doors.
I can see that.
Yeah. I managed to keep it all pretty quiet, pretty much under wraps. I mean, the psychic world was bad enough. Bearing in mind, small town, military base, Bible Belt, not a fun place to grow up when you're psychic. Right. So I kept everything else quiet until I've been on here now 3 years, so that would put about 5 years back. I ended up being asked to call into a show and kind of got dropped into the middle of it. I got asked to call in about a question, so I did. Next thing I knew, I was on the radio.
That tends to happen when you call into a radio show, my friend.
Yeah, but what doesn't usually happen is you don't usually end up with your own radio show.
True.
I end up running my own and end up being a guest on a number of different ones. And, of course, then you came along, and, that opened a can of worms. I'm going to blame you for that one, okay?
Oh, that's fine. That is absolutely fine. Now, Keith, over time, you have become a loud voice for the advocacy of people who are having contact to be able to come out with their own contact experiences. At any point, have you just said, with the amount of people who you have talked to over time, to just say, to take on their burdens of what they are going through and trying to figure out the answers, have you ever just thought of just walking away and not being a part of that type of community?
In all fairness, more often than I care to count. One of the biggest problems I run into is I get very frustrated with the way that people treat each other. We take a look at this industry, and even in this industry, and I know you're aware of this, people come out and go, "Oh, I think I've been abducted," that I may have been. And even in this industry, the majority of people that claim to work in it still go, "No, that didn't happen. You're just imagining it." Or they say worse. And to me, that's where it gets to be really frustrating. Now, don't get me wrong. I see the same thing happen with different communities, like with different isolated communities, where the people inside them treat each other very poorly. And I'm sitting here going, you listen to the people, and so many humans will look at the mess the world's in and go, "Why don't the off-worlders clean up our mess?" Right. So, yeah, have I thought about walking away? Yeah. But every time I do, something ends up pulling me back into it. And before people jump on that, no, I'm not going to up and walk away from the show. I can't say you won't fire me from it, but...
Well, I don't see that happening unless you decide to shave off your sideburns or something like that, because those are some good ham hocks you got going on there. But nonetheless, buddy, we're always glad to have you here and to help people understand what they are going through. And in the end, even though there's been times where you have wanted to walk away from the field of ufology and helping the experiencers, you haven't. You still keep on going. It's almost like it's your manifest destiny to do that. Why do you keep going? What makes you hold yourself accountable to other people's experiences?
Because there are so many. I know what I went through trying to figure out how to cope with it and feeling like I was the only one going through it. And the few times that I did run into somebody, when I was having a problem and somebody came out and said, "Look, I've been through what you're going through," in whatever field. has helped immensely, and I just can't. And there's something about this idea of turning my back on people, on the few that go, how do I cope with it? I really want to. You know, especially when you start dealing with people who go, my kid's going through nightmares, and I have no idea how to cope with it or what to do with it.
Are there cases you won't take on?
None that I've come across.
So it doesn't matter
there
how...
are questions I refuse to answer, but there's never been a case that I know of that I've said, no, I'm not dealing with that. It's too much.
But are there certain people you will not help? I know you were very, very emotional about helping children and parents of children who are having these experiences with extraterrestrial contact and potentially abduction. I know that's a close one to your heart, but there aren't any people out there that you just refuse to help?
Oh, there are people I refuse to talk to. I could call a few of them by name. I just won't, because I know what that'll cause. You know, there are a few people, if they were to come to me, I'd look at them and go, now, why, pray tell, would I answer that for you? You know, because unfortunately, the people I'm referring to, what it usually boils down to is they're looking for a way to make money off of somebody else's suffering. Now, some people could say that the radio does just that, but you don't target people in particular. Like, there's a couple of shows I work with that, yes, you bring things to light, but you don't try and find a way where you can actually pocket money because of it.
Right.
You know,
but on
one of the biggest complaints I have is the people that go, yes, I've got information, so give me money and I'll give you an answer to it. When they're on a public forum like this. You know, I will tell you, quite readily, and I've told a lot of people, I am in the process of putting a book together containing a lot of the information on the different races that I have talked about here. But if somebody asks me about them, I'm not going to say, well, buy my book and you'll find the answers. That's just the wrong way to do it.
I'm sure there are a lot of people out there who would agree with you on that. But on the flip side, you have also taken heaps of criticism from people saying that, you probably need a psychiatrist, to people saying that you're just making it up on the fly, and from people saying, how are you really helping people when it doesn't seem you can help yourself with your own experiences? You've run the gamut through criticism. How do you allow that to deflect off of you?
Well, let me take it one step at a time. Where it comes to I need a psychiatrist, I've been to 3, and all 3 of them have said absolutely unequivocally, no, your memories are solid. You're not nuts. Your mind is working very well, and the technologies you've described make practical sense. We can follow, we don't understand them, but we can follow them. So when people tell me I need a psychiatrist, it's like, well, I've already been and they told me I'm fine. Where it comes to the people telling me, asking, how do you know I'm not just making it all up? Well, the simple answer is you don't. But given the amount of people I've talked to that have corroborated what I've done or what I've seen, I kind of look at it going, as my brother put it, I've got enough circumstantial evidence in my pocket for what I've been through, where I could have somebody convicted of murdering somebody that had died 100 years before the accused had been born. So I've got a staggering amount of circumstantial evidence to work with. Granted, I don't have the practical side because the people that have the practical side of the information are in the military. Mm-hmm. And let's face it, if you can get the practical information from them, be my guest, then we'll both know.
But on the flip side of that, you haven't profited from helping people on this.
Not at all.
And you haven't profited from this show. You haven't profited from other shows that you have done. And to me, when I see someone in your situation who, and let's face it, I mean, you're not destitute, but you don't make a lot of money. You don't live off the high horse, so to speak. You're someone who is very humble with what you have. And I look at a person like you as you're not trying to take advantage of people. You're just trying to help. And I know you pretty good. I know where you live. I know what kind of vehicle you drive. We've hung out enough where I know that you're somebody who isn't one to take advantage of people and just put a bunch of BS in their heads.
No, I like eliminating the BS if I can, and I do appreciate that. The reality is, just so people can understand, I'm literally one check away from being on the street. That's how tight I close my own money to. And no, I've never made a plug nickel. As a matter of fact, most of the events that I've gone to, that I've gone and even spoken at, the last one I went to, when we went out to the one down in Concrete, right? Yes, I put the bill to get down there, but that's the first one that the events even paid for my accommodation.
Right.
And of course, needless to say, you put the bill to get me actually down to the last one.
Well, of course, I paid the gas.
And don't take this the wrong way, but that was a nightmare drive, a nightmare stop on that one at the one thing. What was it? That one little community on the side of the road there. It was a nightmare for me. You seem to handle it quite nicely.
Oh yeah. It was a beautiful little community. Lots of Sasquatch around there. I wish I could remember what it was called. Nice, it was in central Washington. Community. Yeah. But Keith, let's move on here because we got to start winding you up for some serious peak woo tonight. When's your last ET experience? What happened?
The last one was quite literally, depends on what today is. This is Friday? So that would have made it Monday. Yeah, that would have made it through Monday. I ended up having because again, I was going through this issue of, am I actually helping people get their head on straight and start looking at the reality of what's coming? Because, I got approached again with the reality that mankind is the one race that has got it completely backwards. Because every other race that's out there, every other member of the consortium, they all have a global government, meaning the peoples of the primary race of the planet actually work together. Mankind is the only one that is still in total conflict with each other, and either through neglect or deliberate stupidity is doing incredible damage to the one planet that it has to have. So I got asked again why it is I keep talking to the consortium, and especially with some of the races, and going, no, taking them out is not the right move. Ironically, much as I've got my own viewpoint and what have you, humans do have a staggering amount of potential. I'm just hoping one day they'll realize it before they create a problem. Or more to the point, before they let a problem be created.
So you were last taken on ship when?
Monday night. I know that because when I woke up, I ended up, and it happened last time too, when I woke up in the morning. Number one, I had not slept the night before. I couldn't function properly, but much more importantly, my arm again had been just completely decimated. I couldn't use a thing for the first half of the day. I think, in a nutshell, what they're trying to do is correct the nerve damage that was done when I had the stroke. So, yes, these guys do actually step in, and that's, in all fairness, I got thinking about it. That is part of the reason I've got an accelerated healing rate. Is because these guys have this brilliant idea that my keeling over isn't necessarily a good thing. And I know my kids agree with them.
Well, being a single father of 2 boys, I think your boys would want that.
Yeah, pretty much. They get a little edgy on occasion. But no, the thing I ended up there for was trying to help balance out a debate between a couple of the races that were absolutely, they were pushing the consortium to let them have free reign on the planet. And there are still, because we're getting new races in, not new races to the consortium per se, so much as new ones coming into the area.
Oh, like who?
Well,
we got about 90 seconds.
Okay, well, one of the big ones is there's a hunter race, and virtually everybody in this industry knows who they are. They've seen very good renditions of them. They're the Moldogs, and they are a hunter race. And mankind, contrary to popular belief, makes great hunting prey if they choose the right people, i.e. the people that are trained to fight. Okay,
what do these guys look like?
Well, the easiest way to describe them, you're looking at the Moldogs, and they are, if you ever saw the show Predator, they did an absolutely perfect rendition of it. The science fiction movie. That critter that they've got there, they did an absolutely spot-on rendition. Okay, so whoever the director was that whoever it was that brought that picture to light for the antagonist, absolutely knew what he was doing. Did you ever actually see the movie Predator?
Of course. Of course.
I thought you probably did.
Of course. Get to the chopper. That's the way it goes.
Yeah, something to that effect.
Keith, I'm going to get you to hold on right there because we are going to step out for our first break of the night. I want to remind everybody, if you're in one of our chat rooms on Spreaker, the SOR Space Travelers on Facebook, or on Revolution Radio, or on Twitter at #SpacedOutRadio, put your questions in capital letters. I will get them to Keith. All aliens, all night long, on Spaced Out Radio with our Keith Andrews and the ET Connection coming up.
Coming soon to our website, spacedoutradio.com, is the SOR Space Travelers Club. For just $5 a month, you can get into a private area on our site where you can hang with other listeners in our chat room, post in our forum, and check out a bunch of exclusive content and store that won't be found anywhere else, including a nightly after-show party with Dave. It's going to be the best $5 a month you're going to spend. The SOR Space Travelers, only at spacedoutradio.com.
Heading to Vancouver and looking for a night on the town? The Moose Vancouver is the bar that never stops rocking until 2 a.m. every night. The Moose has great food with everything on the menu from $6.95 to $8.95. Fantastic, vibrant staff and rock and roll that will bring you back to when the music was real, the hair was long, and the guitars were rocking. Get your party on at the Moose Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thal, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
We're bringing scientific thought to the paranormal. Hi there, this is Spaced Out Radio scientist Chris Cogswell. Join me, Chris Zuger, and Dave Scott the second Wednesday of every month. where we break down the who from the woo when it comes to everything paranormal. We'll investigate and try to bring sensible answers to those straight and sometimes outlandish questions people have. Hey, not everything has an answer, but we'll do our best. Listen in to Reality Paranormal only on Spaced Out Radio.
Are you tired of being blocked, shadow banned, or placed in jail for simply posting your thoughts on social media? Social Media Freedom can take care of that for you. Social Media Freedom is the newest and one of the best free new apps that allows you the freedom to post what you want, when you want. It takes seconds to download from your app store. Come join the tribe at Social Media Freedom. It's time to set yourself free.
Coming up this September 21st and 22nd, all UFO eyes will be focused on Toronto for the 4th Annual Alien Cosmic Expo. Come listen to some of the biggest names and experiencers in ufology. Travis Walton, Paul Hellyer, Richard Dolan, Paula Harris, Grant Cameron, Randy Kramer, and Spaced Out Radio's own Dave Scott. Tickets are on sale now at aliencosmicexpo.com.
Visit purpleplates.com today. For over 40 years, the Purple Energy Plates have been delivering amazing results for their many customers. Inspired by the great genius Nikola Tesla, the harmony, healing, and energetic effects of the plates have proven over and over to be beneficial and often miraculous to thousands of customers. Check their site for daily specials and choose from their many energy products. You won't be sorry. Visit them today at purpleplates.com.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
Come get spooked at the 4th Annual Forest Moon Paracon in Cedar-Woolley, Washington, Saturday, September 28th. UFOs, ghosts, aliens, Bigfoot. Speakers include Mike Morin and Jason Jordan, R. Keith Andrews, and Dave Scott from Spaced Out Radio, and so much more. There will be workshops and a VIP roundtable. Get early bird tickets now at fmparacon.com.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
You hear footsteps in the empty room above you. A rocking chair begins rocking by itself. Don't be afraid of the things that go bump in the night. Reach for Spirit Storybox, the iPhone app the Huffington Post UK called the only ghost hunting app you will ever need. Spirit Storybox. The spirits are telling their stories. Are you listening?
Looking for a place to advertise at a very reasonable cost? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. SpacedOutRadio.com has an advertising tab that you can click to check out our daily, weekly, and monthly packages to play on the radio, or our website including social media. From commercial spots to banners, we have it all. Check out our competitive pricing today.
Did you know Spaced Out Radio runs 7 days a week? Hi there, this is Tessa Nicole Thomas, and I'm here to take you on a paranormal journey each Saturday and Sunday night. Why change the station when you have it all right here? Together, we'll hang out and share some strange and scary stories. And don't forget, we have Psychic Sundays as well, so come tune in Spaced Out Weekend. We get going at 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern, only at spacedoutradio.com, where we own the night.
A timepiece is a reflection of who you are, and what better way to show off the real you than with an Escape watch? Escape is a lifestyle brand accessorizing your days and nights. Choose to escape and create the life of discovery that you deserve. Dream, play, unite with your own personalized escape watch. Head to escapewatches.com. There is no time like the present to enjoy your escape. Use promo code SMF2017 for your 20% discount today.
Welcome back to the second half hour of Spaced Out Radio. Tonight, I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. Glad for each and every one of you to join us as we head into the weekend and we get some time for some R&R. It's going to be a great weekend up here. I'm going Sasquatch hunting on Sunday. Well, more researching than hunting since I don't have a gun. Let alone I wouldn't shoot one of them. Not that guy. But that's what I'm doing Sunday. I'm looking forward to that. Hey, we got a show to do tonight. But before we bring on our Keith Andrews and the ET Connection, I want to remind all of you that our YouTube channel is youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. If you haven't subscribed to that, we would appreciate that. That's where we store all of our archives for free. And our website, currently under construction, spacedoutradio.com, should be up and running here within the next 2 weeks. Our Keith Andrews and the ET Connection comes in the first Friday of the month to break down your questions that you have for any extraterrestrial concerns, comments, questions, and experiences. Mr. Keith, welcome back.
And thank you for having me. And welcome to all the new listeners we've got. Always fun having the new ones come in.
Isn't it? Well, let's start off with a veteran listener here, though. Catherine is asking, Keith, as far as you know, is there a planned future evacuation of the human race off of Earth?
Only if the plan, no. The Reader's Digest answer is no. Okay, there are people that are, some humans are going, we need to leave the planet because we're running out of room. But is there any active plan for it? Not that I'm aware of.
All right. I expected you to go longer on that
you got to remember, there are contingencies that certain people are looking at, like, what do we do if an asteroid hits? How do we compensate for it? Yeah, and I mean a bigger asteroid, not just one of these little pocket things that hit now and then. But I have not, even amongst the off-worlders, I haven't heard of any plans to leave. I know of one race that does have a gateway to get off the planet if they have to, but that's not the human race.
How'd they get off? The planet,
well, in their case, how they will get off is quite literally through I guess the best way to put it would be through a mystical gateway. They have the ability to literally open the doorway to step onto another planet if they want to. They're just happy with Earth, so they're not planning on leaving. But when push comes to shove, they certainly would.
What attracts extraterrestrials here, though, Keith? What attracts extraterrestrials to come here, though?
Oh, it's because Earth has the greatest evolutionary database in the sector. Okay, built right into the triple helix that mankind is made out of, and the evolving neural net that connects all living things on this planet. Well, in all fairness, it connects all things. And the data that is stored here is absolutely phenomenal. This is why when the scientists look at the triple helix and go, it's got a bunch of junk DNA. No, it just has a lot of extra information, all of which is usable. So of course, that's the one thing that draws them here. The other one is that mankind is on the verge of a massive evolutionary leap. They're at a turning point in civilization. That turning point is going to be either complete desolation of the planet and the essential extinction of mankind, or mankind's going to figure out how to unify. But this is from a xenoecological standpoint, or sociological standpoint, rather. This is one of the most exciting things that can happen to witness live, which is what the off-worlders are coming to watch. Call it home movies on steroids.
So we're a reality game for them, or reality television.
In a sense, yes.
Well, that's kind of fun.
Okay.
They get a little bit of
We
everything.
are. The thing we're not is it's not all staged like most of the reality shows that you watch on TV.
Right. Gotcha. All right, let's move on to another question here. Let's go over to Twitter at #SpacedOutRadio. Canadian Joe is asking, are the Rockefellers and George Soros part of the consortium?
No.
What's their role?
I could draw that out, but no. See, here's the thing. The reason you know this, there's two factors involved. Number one, the consortium takes member planets, and the first qualifier to become a member planet is you have to have a global government, meaning the governing race must have at least its own world in order. It's got to be a cooperative effort, because they're not going to take one set of families and not the rest. Okay, now I won't debate with whether they've had contact, but they're certainly not active members of the consortium because it goes against the consortium guidelines.
Right. Okay. Let's go to another question here, my friend.
Sure.
Dave is asking, Keith, are you familiar with the work of Dr. Carla Turner? And if so, what's your opinion on her research?
The answer would be no, but if somebody tells me what the gist of it is, I can probably give you a rundown. This is what I get for not researching anything.
Well, I can tell you this a little bit about her, is that she's considered one of the best UFO alien researchers of the modern era. She was murdered, allegedly, for exposing alien grays and an agenda with the governments, even though technically she died of cancer on January 10th, 1996. There's a lot of mystery around her death. She was threatened by her job. She was only 48 years old. Several other people involved in the UFO investigation also experienced the same type of threats that she did. People thought that she was the closest to bringing disclosure over.
Well, I can tell you this. Now, of course, and we have to qualify it as it is strictly opinion because I've got nothing solid to offer. But I can tell you it wasn't cancer that killed her. I'm not debating that's what they said. Okay, but we can safely say it was not cancer. Or more to the point, it wasn't any Terran-based cancer. Okay, and it's also not something that she developed because of the way her life had been going. Okay, there is no question that that her motive was very black and white. Her motive was simply disclosure. Let people know what was really going on. Now, needless to say, the people that are trying to control that don't like that happening. Okay, but from my understanding, did she have solid information? The answer is yes, on both race and the governmental influences.
Moving on here, let's get to Uncle Dale's question in the SOR Space Travelers Club on Facebook. Keith, how do Hollywood writers get the information on previously unknown races, and how do they get away with revealing it?
Well, the best way I can put it is personal contact is the easiest way to get the information. How they get away with revealing it is real simple. It's called Hollywood. They can bury it in the term of science fiction, and everybody takes it as a great movie with fabulous special effects. And there are a number of races that Hollywood has revealed that are very accurate. Okay, frighteningly so in some ways.
Give us a few examples.
Well, the ascetic from Alien is absolutely on the money, except one little detail, and that is the extending jaw. What they did was they combined the real larvae, if you will, and the way it works, and combined it with the adult. The Moldocs, which are the Predator out of Predator, the Greys, both sets of them out of Close Encounters of the Third Kind. If you watch Jupiter Rising, you'll see a beautiful rendition of a Tormenon. And oddly enough, if you go way back, if you want a really poor rendition of it, but they had the right idea, the Gorn from Star Trek, the original series, that's your Swazians. Now, granted, they weren't the right height, but in all fairness, humans don't grow to 6 into 7.5, 8.5 feet tall. You know, so we have to give them a little bit of a break on that one. Now, you're going to love this one. But
sure.
That funny little thing, there's a couple of comedy ones that fit beautifully. You know, like, for instance, Tribbles and their counterparts were absolutely on the money, although they are not something you have to worry about invading so much as infesting. You know. You take a look, and those are just a few of the races that have been revealed. Oh, the other one, which is not an off-world, it's an ancient race, is if you watch the movie The Abyss, that's a water elemental. And they combined two there, though. That was the water elemental is the way they move. But the material they used for getting the guy underwater where he could talk to them, that was developed actually by the seafarers. And that, I'll tell you, was a nightmare when they first figured out how to do it. You know, and of course, the obvious ones that everybody knows about, and they're not alien races, they're ancient, is the dwarves and the fairy folk are very real, as are the actual little fairies, you know, the little guys with, you know, 4 feet tall or 4 inches tall and big wings. Again, they're real. You know the old saying, you know, truth is stranger than science fiction.
That's very true. Catalina has a question. She is asking, if abductees agreed to the abduction, does a visible contract exist?
Well, you know, we have to have a bit of a wide version on what invisible is, but the answer is yes. Okay. If she is referring to a paper contract, the off-worlders ran out of paper centuries ago. But do they have a contract that they've agreed that if it's an agreed upon, there is definitively an agreement that is run with it. But you also have to remember that they live by the concept of you must treat others as you desire them to treat you. Meaning, if you've agreed to contact for X amount of time, at the end of that period, they let you go, they don't bother you again. You know, if that's what the contract states, that's what happens. But if you're looking for a archived contract that some lawyer can get their hands on, no.
Okay.
Not that I'm aware of, anyway.
Let's move on here. The sisters in the Spreaker chat one, they are asking, how do aliens then choose their abductees?
Now, there's a wide-open question. That depends on a number of things. Number one, it depends on the purpose of what they're researching. One of the consistencies is they will watch bloodlines and see it, but that's what's called a primary deciding factor. bloodline does stack the deck in favor of being abducted, as does blood type. But let us understand that blood type is dependent upon what they're researching. It's not dependent upon one blood type on Earth. Okay. It also depends on the environmental factors of where the proposed abductee is actually located. If you're trying to understand the impact of swamp gas on humans, well, let's face it, you're not going to do that in the top of the Andes. You're going to have to pick somebody that's down in the swamps.
Right.
These are just some of the factors. But understand, they look from a subquantum level for most of their decisions.
Our Keith Andrews is our guest tonight on Spaced Out Radio. The ET Connection happens the first Friday of every month. Keith, let's get to another question here from Danny. And this is about movies again. He is saying, what movies are most true to life in regards to paranormal or alien activity? What movies, then, miss the mark completely?
Well, I can't give you a specific movie that misses the mark completely, but I can tell you a type. The ones that they're doing, this is, live paranormal, where they go on ghost hunts and what have you. They could be a little further off the mark, just not much. That'd be the big thing. That'd be one of the biggest ones. If you want to look at alien movies that were not intended to hit the mark, I believe the name of the one was called Paul. It was funny as heck, but it had nothing to do with reality. I'm sure you watched Paul.
I did watch Paul. I enjoyed it. He reminded me of Carl, man.
Oh, absolutely. But where it comes to the reality of it, missed it entirely, which is good. That's what it was for. It was supposed to be funny, and they hit the mark on that. But I can't think of a movie that claimed to be trying to track the reality of it and just completely missed the mark. Of course, in all fairness, I haven't seen as many movies as you might think.
Right. Let's move on. We got about 3.5 minutes here. Follow up from Danny then. Is time travel impossible, or can we only go forward? Isn't there a device that can look back in time, as far as you know?
Oh, there is a device that you can look back in time and you can watch what happened, but you cannot send messages or interact with it at all. Okay, they use it for research to find out what caused things to happen. However, can you jump forward in time? Absolutely. And the way that works is you cease to have any record of your existence in the current time period until you resurface. At which point, whoever's doing the tracking of you is having a nightmare trying to find out how you got to wherever you were. Think of it this way. If you've got photographs of somebody over the course of 15, 20 years, and then 50 years down the road, you see somebody identical walking down the street to that picture, what are you going to do with it if it turns out it's the same person? And that has been known to happen.
In your opinion, due to time travel, what would happen if you ran into yourself, if you were able to go back or forward in time?
Well, if you were to go backward in time, backward doesn't work. Going forward, ultimately what would happen is both parties would end up dead. Because the subquantum impact, you'd literally, in all likelihood, you would literally detonate. You would certainly short out. The electrical circuits, being the way they are, would fry both parties. May or may not make a mess of the neighborhood. Okay, in all fairness, I haven't seen anybody do it. That's sort of one of the things that the people that are able to time travel forward don't have studied luck to avoid that sort of thing. It's not 100% accurate as far as avoidance goes, but they certainly know how to bail out of the area if they run into it.
Right. It is an interesting thought, though. I think we got time for one more question. We got about a minute here before we're going to go to break. Catherine is asking, are aliens purely self-interest, even helping us serves a purpose, etc., etc.?
Absolutely not. There is as many motivations for different races doing things as there are people. Like, granted, some aliens are very selfish, some are extremely arrogant, and some are about as generous as they can be. And just like every one of a given race is not the same. It's like you can't look at humans and go, everybody's identical in their temperament. There are nice aliens, there are ones that really need some help. And the only real big difference between aliens and humans, in all fairness, is the type of toys they've got. But the mentalities, in all fairness, are pretty similar to humans, with a couple of striking differences depending on the race.
Very understanding. Very understanding. Mr. Keith, I'm going to get you to hold on right there because we got to go to break here at the top of the hour. R. Keith Andrews is our guest tonight on Spaced Out Radio. The ET Connection happens the first Friday of every month. More of your questions, your comments with R. Keith Andrews right after this in Hour 2.
A timepiece is a reflection of who you are, and what better way to show off the real you than with an Escape watch? Escape is a lifestyle brand accessorizing your days and nights. Choose to escape and create the life of discovery that you deserve. Dream, play, unite with your own personalized Escape watch. Head to escapewatches.com. There is no time like the present to enjoy your escape. Use promo code SMF2017 for your 20% discount today.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thaw, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones.
Come get spooked at the 4th Annual Forest Moon Paracon in Cedar Woolley, Washington, Saturday, September 28th. UFOs, ghosts, aliens, Bigfoot. Speakers include Mike Morin and Jason Jordan, R. Keith Andrews, and Dave Scott from Spaced Out Radio, and so much more. There will be workshops and a VIP roundtable. Get early bird tickets now at fmparacon.com.
You hear footsteps in the empty room above you. A rocking chair begins rocking by itself. Don't be afraid of the things that go bump in the night. Reach for Spirit Storybox, the iPhone app the Huffington Post UK called the only ghost hunting app you will ever need. Spirit Storybox. The spirits are telling their stories. Are you listening?
Heading to Vancouver and looking for a night on the town? The Moose Vancouver is the bar that never stops rocking until 2 a.m. every night. The Moose has great food with everything on the menu from $6.95 to $8.95. Fantastic, vibrant staff and rock and roll that will bring you back to when the music was real, the hair was long, and the guitars were rocking. Get your party on at the Moose Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio. Looking for the stories of the strange and weird that you will find hard to find anywhere else? Check out the SOR Newswire on our website. Our writers, led by Captain Shirk, are scouring the world for the oddest and most bizarre stories we can find. Everything from weird crime to suspenseful and paranormal. We're working hard for you to bring you the most intriguing news of your day. Check out the SOR Newswire at spacedoutradio.com today.
Did you know Spaced Out Radio runs 7 days a week? Hi there, this is Tessa Nicole Thomas, and I'm here to take you on a paranormal journey each Saturday and Sunday night. Why change the station when you have it all right here? Together, we'll hang out and share some strange and scary stories. And don't forget, we have Psychic Sundays as well, so come tune in Spaced Out Weekend. We get going at 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern, only at spacedoutradio.com, where we own the night.
Visit purpleplates.com today. For over 40 years, the Purple Energy Plates have been delivering amazing results for their many customers. Inspired by the great genius Nikola Tesla, the harmony, healing, and energetic effects of the plates have proven over and over to be beneficial and often miraculous to thousands of customers. Check their site for daily specials and choose from their many energy products. You won't be sorry. Visit them today at purpleplates.com.
Looking for a place to advertise at a very reasonable cost? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. SpacedOutRadio.com has an advertising tab that you can click to check out our daily, weekly, and monthly packages to play on the radio, or our website including social media. From commercial spots to banners, we have it all. Check out our competitive pricing today.
On the first Tuesday of every month, I encourage you to come along for a journey with me, Geraldine Orozco, on The Spiritual You. Together, we will take a look at how to access the highest expression of yourself and change your life. Consciousness, ET contact, health, and wellness, we can talk about it all. So come along for a spiritual ride with me, Geraldine Orozco, on The Spiritual You, only on Spaced Out Radio.
Get your horns up with me on Spaced Out Radio. This is Ron Bumblefoot Thal. Come tune in to SOR where you can hear me rock out with Little Brother Is Watching, the official theme song of Spaced Out Radio. And then come on over to bumblefoot.com where you can find out about my tour schedule, my music, and everything else. Bumblefoot.com keeps you up to date on what I'm doing and the best way to stay in touch with my music and music camps. Sign up for my newsletter at bumblefoot.com and remember, Little Brother Is Watching.
Looking for a place to advertise at a very reasonable cost? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. SpacedOutRadio.com has an advertising tab that you can click to check out our daily, weekly, and monthly packages to play on the radio, or our website including social media. From commercial spots to banners, we have it all. Check out our competitive pricing today.
The freedom to post what you want, when you want. That's the social media freedom you need. Social Media Freedom is the free app in your app store. No need to worry about going to jail or being shadow banned any longer. It's the freedom to say what you feel. The freedom to know Big Brother isn't watching. It's the way social media is supposed to be. Social Media Freedom. It's time to set yourself free. Download from your app store today.
Coming soon to our website, spacedoutradio.com, is the SOR Space Travelers Club. For just $5 a month, you can get into a private area on our site where you can hang with other listeners in our chat room, post in our forum, and check out a bunch of exclusive content and store that won't be found anywhere else, including a nightly after-show party with Dave. It's going to be the best $5 a month you're going to spend. The SOR Space Travelers, only at spacedoutradio.com.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7 with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
You're listening to Spaced Out Radio with Dave Scott. Follow Dave on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Facebook, Spaced Out Radio Show.
Welcome back to hour number 2 of Spaced Out Radio. Tonight, I am your host, Dave Scott. Great to have you with us. This weekend, while I am off finding my Zen, my Chi, and hopefully some Bigfoot, you can tune in to Tessa Nicole Thomas, 9 o'clock Pacific, midnight Eastern, Saturday and Sunday night, only at spacedoutradio.com. We also want to remind you and say hello to everyone listening in on our terrestrial stations, KDUN, AM 1030 in Reedsport, Oregon, KZFX 93.7 FM in Ridgecrest, California, WQEE 99.1 FM in Noonan, Georgia, and UPRN 107.7 FM in New Orleans. On the digital side, hi to everyone listening in on Revolution Radio and Deep Talk Radio. Remember, you can check out all of our archives for free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight at the SOR Space Travelers Club. Thaumatrope. Thaumatrope is your password. Make sure you use it wisely, Space Travelers, as the Clam sets the password each and every night right here on the mighty SOR. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot. Do a little shopping at our store. But you can't right now. You got to wait 2 weeks because we're under construction. But it's all coming. It's all going to look pretty damn good, too. Our Keith Andrews is here the first Friday of every month with the ET Connection, where we go peek woo, getting into the weird, the strange, everything to do with any sort of ET contact. Mr. Keith, welcome back.
And thank you for having me.
We're going to get right back. We're going to get right back into some audience questions here. Going to go to Revolution Radio here in their chat room. Stardust Man has a pair of questions for you. And he is asking, if a large Earth-destroying asteroid was to aim for our planet, potentially to hit it, would the ETs divert it?
Absolutely. Either divert it or split it so it missed. One of the two. But they won't, if they've got any input into it, they won't let the planet be wiped out. That's one of those things that mankind is not responsible for and would certainly ruin the database that's here. You know, that is one of their primary concerns, is literally protecting the planet, protecting the information that's here. And we can safely say that a planet killer asteroid falls under that category.
Really?
Of course, it does depend on the size of the asteroid. You know, if it's big enough to wipe out the planet, they'll definitely hit it. If it's just going to make a mess and potentially kill the human race, it really does. It's kind of a pain to be a human at that point because they won't likely stop it. They might, but it's kind of a flip of the coin if all it's going to do is kill the people.
Yeah, that would kind of suck.
And yes, I know that sounds cold.
That would kind of suck, my friend, if that actually happened. All right, let's move on here.
Very short period.
Let's move on to his second question. And he's asking if you've seen the second Iron Sky movie, The Coming Race. And if you have, do you think it's very true to life?
The answer is no, but it does beg the question of what it is. So I'm going to have to find out a way to find it and then watch it.
Interesting. All right, let's move on here to another one. Let's go over to Jade in the SOR Space Travelers Club. She's going to have a hat trick of questions here for you. First one, do the off-worlders have any knowledge of any upcoming major world disasters? As an example, like the huge meteor that hit Greenland and was thought to be part of the reason the world ice age came to a halt. Is there an impending ice age?
Well, there is an impending devastation if mankind doesn't get off its tail feathers, but that one is avertible by mankind, so the off-worlders won't stop it. Now, will that cause the ice age? No. Okay. An ice age, they won't work to stop because it's part of the natural geophysical evolution of the planet. And that's one of the things they're here to watch. Which I know sucks to be human if somebody's sitting up there going, "I bet it's going to get cold down there." My normal comment when people tell me it's snowing somewhere where I'm not is usually, well, better you than me. They have pretty much the same outlook where it comes to planetary changes.
How do you figure?
Well, from their standpoint, if there is an ice age that's evolving, right, by natural cause, they'll look at it and go, well, hopefully mankind will start to pull together and actually live through it. If not, they probably should have. And maybe they'll figure it out for the next time they get to that point.
I hear you. All right, let's move on to another question here, if you don't mind. From
Not
Jane.
at all.
How does one go about being a member of this consortium? I have some pretty good ideas they really need and should hear about.
Well, first rule of thumb, they're not going to they don't take people as members of the consortium. Member planets are done once the planet has a global government. That's when they start looking at drawing them in as member planets. Now, as far as people go, as far as getting word to them, the nice part there is they do watch, as I mentioned to you before, Dave. It's not just listeners that are listening in. As you well know, Big Brother has got their ears on the horn all the time when you're on the radio. But so do the off-worlders. So, if you're trying to get heard by them, to start talking about it. Okay, and if it coincides with something that they feel is beneficial, they'll either utilize it or they may contact you directly, depending on what you've got to offer and whether they figure there's more to it.
Final question from Jade. Signs, the movie, is, in my opinion, a very accurate portrayal of an alien. Keith, do you think this as well? And if so, what alien is this?
Sad to say, this is where I go back into that. Oops, I've heard of the show, and I think I saw part of it. I do know that it is very accurate as far as a lot of what they say about the signs themselves. But I really don't recall offhand what the race looked like.
Oh, you missed out. You got to watch that one.
I think I've actually got it. I think I've actually got it on DVD and just have never gotten to it.
It's one of my favorites. To me, it just seems so real, especially the clicking sound.
Yeah, I have no doubt there.
Yeah, that one still bugs me. Still bugs me that we heard that in my backyard, man. Still bugs me. But what do you do? What do you do?
Well, I mean, for me, it was funny. It was funny in a way. I mean, I do feel for you. I know what your nerves had to be doing.
Oh, it was fun. It was totally fun.
But yeah, when you asked me about it, that was comical.
It was. I mean, it's like hearing a conversation from up my driveway into the backyard. It was kind of cool. Eerie. Very eerie, but cool nonetheless.
Oh yeah. And I mean, it's entertaining when you think about it from an onlooker standpoint. Because it's like watching people speaking a language that you don't understand, but you get the gist of it, if you will, and you can tell when they're talking about something, and there's if you will, levity behind it. Even if you don't understand the language, you can certainly get a feel for the conversation.
Very true. Very true. All right, let's move on here. We're going to head back into the Spreaker chat room with Nikki. And Nikki is asking, I'm curious, Keith, if you know or would you recommend any specific book to read and possibly view sketches of as many of the known races you're in contact with?
Well, intriguingly, I'm actually in the process of writing a book and trying to get some really basic sketches done of a number of them. The best renditions I've seen are actually in movies, not in books. Okay, of some of the races that I've been talking about. You know, and those are the ones I mentioned earlier. But I don't, in all fairness, know of a book per se that has a real pictographical explanation of them. Which I'm I'm trying to rectify that little shortfall.
Why is that?
Well, that's actually what's going in the one book I'm actually hoping to have out for the conference this fall. You know, for the Paracon in down in Concrete.
Right. Okay. Sounds fun. Let's continue on then. Danny is saying, Keith, what exactly, in your opinion, is the Ogopogo in Okanagan Lake, which is right near your home in Kelowna, British Columbia? Is it a dinosaur? Is there more than one?
Absolutely.
What was it again?
It's a long-necked plesiosaur. Should have been dead about 65 million years ago. And there are, quite frankly, a number of them. And by the way, they don't just stay in Lake Okanagan. Okay. It's very much akin to the same situation applies to the Loch Ness Monster, only that's a short neck. I haven't seen a picture of it recently, so depending on the head, the one in Loch Ness could be the elasmosaur. Again, dinosaurs that should have been extinct somewhere between 65 and 120 million years ago.
Mm-hmm.
What's
keeping them alive?
Give them the message.
What's keeping them alive?
Fish. They don't die of old age. So as long as they've got something to eat, they'll be fine.
Okay.
See, don't forget, Okanagan Lake is not just an isolated lake. There are underground passages that these things can get through.
I've heard that before.
Net result is they've got a steady food source. And thankfully, they aren't trying to come up on land in order to pick off the humans. Although that would be a sight.
So you don't believe then that it's just an overgrown white sturgeon coming up from the Columbia River?
No. It may well have come up from the Columbia River at one point, but I do not feel it's a sturgeon, no. In my case, primarily because I've seen the thing. And it is not a fish. Well,
tell us about that experience.
Well, I was actually driving down. If you knew the area up here, I was driving down the hill towards the floating bridge at the time when I spotted it off to the left. Right, I'm coming down the hill and I saw this massive black shadow. And when it rolled over, it's the one fin came out of the water. Much like if you've ever watched an otter roll over, and they look funnier than heck. And this thing just rolled over and dove. But the size of it, number one, it was way too wide. If it were a sturgeon, which is what people would like you to believe, first and foremost, it would have had a uniform width body. This thing did not have a uniform width body. Okay. So, relatively short, stubby head, long neck, massive body. And of course, the fins were something really bizarre. Quite frankly, they looked very much like your whale flippers, except for one little detail. And that was the fact that the ends of the flippers were split. If you will, kind of like a, almost like fingers were forming. The thing does not have fingers, by the way. But I'm just trying to get the idea that the ends of the flippers were split, much like fingers that were three-quarters webbed. So just that last knuckle sticking out, if you will. You know, and of course, then you've got tail. It's about the same length as the head and neck together. But instead of it rounding off, it comes to a point. And I don't know about you, but that does not qualify as a fish in my eyes.
How come more people aren't seeing it then, Keith?
Because more people aren't that deep. It doesn't come to the surface that often, and especially when you think in summer, with the number of boats that end up on Okanagan Lake, if you're swimming there, you're not coming to the surface when you're that size. That's just called a painful haircut.
It's obviously not a man-eater because literally hundreds of thousands of people visit, swim, boat, travel along Okanagan Lake on a daily basis.
Yeah, at all times of the year. You know, we even got people that just love to go swimming in the middle of the winter down here, and I'm thinking, like, that's just a little cold for my liking.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
But yeah, this is definitely not a man-eater.
Right.
I have no doubt that if you got too close, you'd be in trouble.
And you're looking at a lake that's almost 65 miles long, too.
Actually, if I recall, it's 80.
Well, let's do that.
Yeah, that's your department.
Well, I'm going to be doing it. It's 135 kilometers long. So let's find out how big that is. 135. Yeah, it's about 84 miles long.
There we go.
It's a big lake. Deep, too.
Oh, yeah, they actually don't know how deep it is. Because it's sad to say, or good to say, there's a number of overhangs where they can only see so far down. And then, of course, the silt gets so thick down there that you can't see anything anyway.
It seems strange. I'd love to see it. I don't think I ever will.
You got to be down there a fair chunk.
Well, there's a lot of lakes around there. You know, and there's a connection. There's a connection between Okanagan Lake and Skaha Lake, which my sister happens to have a great view of from her house. So there's a lot going on. Let's move on here, my friend.
Absolutely.
Let's move on to another question here. This one comes from Danny, who is asking, have you heard of the liquid Ormus? Is it safe? Would you recommend people to buy or make it themselves?
You know,
what the hell? No, hold on a second here. What the hell is liquid Ormus?
Thank you.
Now, I gotta wait to liquid. My goodness.
No, Ormus should be spelled O-R-M-I-S, but I have no idea. But I usually look at something, if you don't know what it is, drinking it may be a bad idea. You know.
All right, hold on. I found something here. Better mute that tab in case there's music that pops up. Ormus can come from ocean water, river water, soil, and volcanic ash, the skins and the seeds of raw fruits and vegetables, and is also from the platinum group metals themselves. Now, alchemy Ormus is different from the rest in that while most Ormus is just the oceanic extract, now alchemy Ormus, this is just way too difficult. I don't need a science lab. Let's keep it to ET questions, everyone. ET and strange questions. Let's go there. No offense, Danny. No offense.
That's one of those questions. He wants me to look into it. I got no problem with it, but as you said, on air is a bit of a problem.
Yes. All right. Well, we'll give him another chance. He's saying if disclosure happened tomorrow, everyone finds out aliens definitely exist. Do you think there would be mass panic? How bad could things get? Is it really best to hide the truth because of this?
Well, I'm not the one to say whether it's best or not. Of course, I'm of three minds on that one. But the first thing you'd find is absolute global panic. You would have mass suicides. You would have mass rampages of people just going nuts. You know, it's one thing, even amongst the UFO community, it is one thing to believe something is possible. It's another to have it dropped in your lap. You know, and the entire superstructure of human culture will go out the window. So, yeah, it's, you know, from that standpoint, definitely a bad thing. From an off-worlder standpoint, there are some pluses to it. You know, and for those that like watching and calling on your reference to reality TV, from the off-worlder standpoint, that would be one heck of a show.
Totally would. Totally would.
Personally, not recommended.
I can tell you this from my own opinion. I don't think that the majority of people on this planet are ready for any type of ET disclosure. I think they're ready for a UFO disclosure, but an actual extraterrestrial disclosure, I don't know. And if you look at the disclosure movement right now, they're drawing a real thick line in between UFOs and extraterrestrials. It's like you're not even allowed to bring those two together in a conversation. And I don't quite understand that, because if it's non-human entities flying these craft, what the hell are they? And if we don't want to buy the alien side of everything, as we're about to go to break here in a few seconds, who's flying the craft? And that's one that I don't understand. There's got to be somebody flying the craft, because if it's a drone, then it's one of ours, would it not? But
not necessarily.
Keith, let's get your answer on that when we come back from break here, okay? Because we only got about 10 seconds left. Our Keith Andrews is our guest tonight on Spaced Out Radio. The ET Connection happens here the first Friday of every month. Next month, Keith will be around on June 7th. Your ET questions, from everything with disclosure to contact, coming on up. Make sure you put them in capital letters in one of our chat rooms or on Twitter at #SpacedOutRadio. More our Keith Andrews and the ET Connection on Spaced Out Radio right after this.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
Coming soon to our website, spacedoutradio.com, is the SOR Space Travelers Club. For just $5 a month, you can get into a private area on our site where you can hang with other listeners in our chat room, post in our forum, and check out a bunch of exclusive content and store that won't be found anywhere else, including a nightly after-show party with Dave. It's going to be the best $5 a month you're going to spend. The SOR Space Travelers, only at spacedoutradio.com.
Coming up this September 21st and 22nd, all UFO eyes will be focused on Toronto for the 4th Annual Alien Cosmic Expo. Come listen to some of the biggest names and experiencers in ufology. Travis Walton, Paul Hellyer, Richard Dolan, Paula Harris, Grant Cameron, Randy Kramer, and Spaced Out Radio's own Dave Scott. Tickets are on sale now at aliencosmicexpo.com.
Are you tired of being blocked, shadow banned, or placed in jail for simply posting your thoughts on social media? Social Media Freedom can take care of that for you. Social Media Freedom is the newest and one of the best free new apps that allows you the freedom to post what you want, when you want. It takes seconds to download from your app store. Come join the tribe at Social Media Freedom. It's time to set yourself free.
A timepiece is a reflection of who you are, and what better way to show off the real you than with an Escape watch? Escape is a lifestyle brand accessorizing your days and nights. Choose to escape and create the life of discovery that you deserve. Dream, play, unite with your own personalized Escape watch. Head to escapewatches.com. There is no time like the present to enjoy your escape. Use promo code SMF2017 for your 20% discount today.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
Heading to Vancouver and looking for a night on the town? The Moose Vancouver is the bar that never stops rocking until 2 a.m. every night. The Moose has great food with everything on the menu from $6.95 to $8.95. Fantastic, vibrant staff and rock and roll that will bring you back to when the music was real, the hair was long, and the guitars were rocking. Get your party on at the Moose Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Looking for a place to advertise at a very reasonable cost? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. SpacedOutRadio.com has an advertising tab that you can click to check out our daily, weekly, and monthly packages to play on the radio, or our website including social media. From commercial spots to banners, we have it all. Check out our competitive pricing today.
You hear footsteps in the empty room above you. A rocking chair begins rocking by itself. Don't be afraid of the things that go bump in the night. Reach for Spirit Storybox, the iPhone app the Huffington Post UK called the only ghost hunting app you will ever need. Spirit Storybox. The spirits are telling their stories. Are you listening?
Come get spooked at the 4th Annual Forest Moon Paracon in Cedar-Woolley, Washington, Saturday, September 28th. UFOs, ghosts, aliens, Bigfoot. Speakers include Mike Morin and Jason Jordan, R. Keith Andrews, and Dave Scott from Spaced Out Radio, and so much more. There will be workshops and a VIP roundtable. Get early bird tickets now at fmparacon.com.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thal, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
Visit purpleplates.com today. For over 40 years, the Purple Energy Plates have been delivering amazing results for their many customers. Inspired by the great genius Nikola Tesla, the harmony, healing, and energetic effects of the plates have proven over and over to be beneficial and often miraculous to thousands of customers. Check their site for daily specials and choose from their many energy products. You won't be sorry. Visit them today at purpleplates.com.
We're bringing scientific thought to the paranormal. Hi there, this is Spaced Out Radio scientist Chris Cogswell. Join me, Chris Zuger, and Dave Scott the second Wednesday of every month, where we break down the who from the woo when it comes to everything paranormal. We'll investigate and try to bring sensible answers to those straight and sometimes outlandish questions people have. Hey, not everything is an answer, but we'll do our best. Listen in to Reality Paranormal only on Spaced Out Radio.
Did you know Spaced Out Radio runs 7 days a week? Hi there, this is Tessa Nicole Thomas, and I'm here to take you on a paranormal journey each Saturday and Sunday night. Why change the station when you have it all right here? Together, we'll hang out and share some strange and scary stories. And don't forget, we have Psychic Sundays as well, so come tune in Spaced Out Weekend. We get going at 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern, only at spacedoutradio.com, where we own the night.
We pass the halfway point of Spaced Out Radio tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. Great to have each and every one of you with us heading into the weekend. Remember, if you've missed portions of this show or others, you can always go to our YouTube channel, Spaced Out Radio. Click on it. Listen to any of our archives for free. They are there for your taking. And, of course, our website, currently under construction. We're going to have it up and running in the next couple of weeks. Our Keith Andrews is our guest tonight on the ET Connection. We're taking your questions. You got to be in one of the chat rooms on Revolution Radio, on Spreaker, Facebook in the SOR Space Travelers Club, or on Twitter at #SpacedOutRadio. Because we love the audience participation around here. We're going to keep it going, Keith, with some questions. And right before the break, Danny had asked about disclosure. Do you think it'll happen? I'm of the essence that the public is not ready for it. You're pretty much leaning the same way.
Yeah, will it eventually happen? The answer is yes. The odds of it happening in any of our listeners' lifetime, highly improbable. Okay, it is technically possible that their grandkids may, right? But now of course, we do have some people, some listeners that are in their 80s already. Their grandkids might be hard pressed to actually see it happen. But will it eventually happen? Absolutely, assuming, of course, mankind does not kill itself off first.
Can see that. All right, let's move on to PBR's question. Keith, are you an alien?
Now, that remains to be seen. I'm not about to stick my foot in my mouth on that one, but I can tell you my healing rate is off the charts where it comes to the doctors. Now, having a heightened healing rate and some of the other things I've got going on does not mean necessarily alien. Does it mean different? Absolutely. But I can tell you this. If I were a confirmed alien, we can bet your bottom dollar that I'd be locked up in some government lab. And that, thus far, I'm not.
Me either, my friend. All right, let's move on here to another question. This one comes from Nikki. Keith, what's your point of view on the Starchild theories?
Well, it's an interesting theory, and the reality behind it is, if you look at it in the right light, they're not exactly too far off the beaten path. Okay, but is this a question of a bunch of people, of off-worlders being born to the planet? No. If that were the case, there would be a lot different outcome than what there's been. But kids are born that are more enlightened now than what the ones born 50 years ago were on the whole. However, there are aspects of that you look at them going, they haven't been guided to understand the planet. Star children on the whole would understand the planet better, like if they were born off-world, would have, quite frankly, an instinctive understanding of the way the planet should be operating. And many of the people that I've heard claim that they are star children, what it really boils down to, more often than not, is they remember a lifetime as a different race, and they have superimposed it over top of the current. Now, this does not by any means mean that their memories and their behavior is not accurate. It just simply means that it may not be as black and white as what people are thinking. And now I've got people sitting there going, well, that was a very political answer. Yeah.
But do you think, if we look at it that way, that maybe there are more children being enlightened and potentially exposed to the Starchild theory because of that?
Absolutely. Absolutely there are. And there are children that are exhibiting, they are exhibiting access to higher senses a lot more frequently than what they were 30 years ago. Many of them are being taught sad to say, many are being taught to fear their own abilities, which is what's keeping them quiet. In this case, that fear is also keeping them alive.
But do they know themselves that they are star children?
In most cases, no. In most cases, they would be absolutely shocked to find out that was the cause of the heightened abilities. And understand, not everybody with heightened abilities is a star child, or for that matter, a potential star child. Human evolution is bringing to light higher senses, and environmental shifts are causing them to come about. But are people being more exposed to the concept, and thereby, what you'll find more often than not is not the child that says, oh, I'm a star child, as the parent looks at the child and goes, my child is a star child, I just know it because of the way he looks at me, he or she. The ironic part of it is that is more often than not more a wish for a child that was more advanced than what they are, or something to that effect. It's a superimposed belief structure that can cause all kinds of untold complications for the kid.
Like what? What kind of complications?
Well, if your parents are telling people my child is a star child, whether the kid believes it or not won't matter. The kids around him will treat him differently. Okay, and that's just the way humans are. Frankly, it's the way virtually every race on the planet is. So is it possible? Yeah. But I would lay odds that you're looking at a very small number of people that actually are star children, as compared to the number that either are claimed to be by other people or claim to be themselves. The best way I heard it put, one day somebody asked a question similar to what I was. And the guy's response was, it doesn't matter what I believe. What matters is what you believe. Referencing back to the question that was just asked as to whether or not I'm from here.
Oh, come on. Give us a little tease. We're ready for the woo.
Oh, I have no problem with the little tease. I have a problem with sticking my foot in my mouth all the way to my hip and then trying to figure out how to get the other one in there with it.
I understand. All right, let's move on to B's question. B is asking, with the younger generation so accepting of the idea of aliens, why do we always assume there will be chaos?
Oh, because of human nature and the way that, and frankly, in my eyes, I can only do it this way. I've seen the way people react to different colored people, even in today's world, never mind different shapes. Okay, and even when, take a look at the UFO community and the psychic community. Okay, there is so much dissension in both of those communities against each other that you can bet your bottom dollar you're going to have the same problem when it happens, in spite of the fact that people are more accepting of it. Let's face it, people are more accepting now of different nationalities, and there is still chaos when you end up with a minority in a community. Now, it's not right, but it is correct. I would love to be able to say when they get here, everybody's going to be tickety-boo, stick out a hand, and everybody's going to get along. The sad part is I've seen other races interact with other races, and then we get the normal human thing of, well, it won't happen to us. How do you know it'll happen the same way for us just because it's happened to others? Well, the question isn't, is it a guarantee that it will? It's a question of, is it wise to expect it not to?
I guess you could look at it that way. PBR is asking, do aliens taste good? And what's the best way to cook them, Keith?
Well, that depends on the alien. That depends on the race, as far as whether or not they're edible. I mean, basically speaking, if you look at some of them, some, quite frankly, the answer would be yes. But you've got to have the right mindset to be able to actually enjoy it. I mean, most humans will have a problem. Most humans, if you tell them we're having cat for dinner, will have a problem. Telling them you're having a sentient cat for dinner is going to be even worse. And the follow-up question he's bound to ask is, have I ever tried some of them? And the answer is yes.
What have you tried?
Thankfully.
What aliens have you dined on?
Well, some of the reptilian, some of the ichthyopod. Ichthyopod, for those that don't know what they are fish. Okay. But you got to understand, have I ever tried, for instance, Nordic underglass? No. And I'm not interested in trying gray.
Why not? You might have some enjoyment of that. Put them on a nice shish kebab with some garlic and onions and maybe a little horseradish.
Yeah, that's possible. There's just this funny little thing in the texture. I have a problem with certain textures myself. Therefore, there are certain things that, no. I made the mistake when I was a lot younger of taking somebody's word for it. You got to try everything once. Yeah, trust me, no, you don't. I made the mistake of taking my cousin's word for it, and I tried ketchup on ice cream. This is a bad combination. Just take my word for it. In a case like that, once is definitely enough.
Mm-hmm. I hear you. I hear you all too well, my friend. But I got to know, what does a reptilian taste like? Is it like alligator? A lot of people in the bayou are eating alligator these days, man.
Fairness, and depending on the reptilian, it's actually closer to rattlesnake. What you find though, the big difference between it and alligator, or crocodile for that matter, is the muscle density is a heck of a sight higher. And I'll tell you got to cook them forever and a day to get them actually digestible. Much like you do any heavy meat. To get it tender, it takes forever because you got to remember, especially with Strazazian, you're dealing with a high gravity animal, right? Which means the muscle pack is absolutely phenomenally tighter than the muscle density of alligator hair. But cooked right, it's still. Go ahead.
What about their ribs? Do you have a good case of ribs with them, or what?
Well, you can. The real catch to it is you got to remember one little detail. because of the method that they use, because of their, shall we say, by human standpoint, appalling table manners, you really got to be careful because they like the ribs too. And they're not fussy if your fingers are involved. You know, they were nice when they invited me. They actually cooked it. When they usually eat, they don't bother.
Why not?
Well, because the meat digests better when it's not cooked. You know, and before anybody asks, no, I'm not giving recipes. I may eventually give a variation, such as use this meat instead of that one. But am I planning on giving recipes for them? No. Primarily because 3/4 with. Pardon?
What are you setting up your Kentucky Fried Alien with 11 herbs and spices?
Yeah, that ain't going to happen.
Come on!
Number one,
you're ruining it right now.
Don't take this the wrong way. You know, no offense to anybody in particular, but I'm not moving to Kentucky. I'll come visit.
You don't have to.
I'm not moving.
They'll franchise you, man. They'll franchise you. Kentucky Fried Aliens. There we go.
And in 150, 200 years, that may well be viable. Mind you, right beside that kiosk will be human flambe. You know, which I'm pretty certain is going to turn a few heads upside down.
Oh.
You do know the show could go really sideways at that point.
It's already off the rails, man. We have officially hit peak woo here. We have officially hit peak woo. This is fantastic. This is Uncle Dale and his power stash. Where else can you have a conversation about eating aliens? So do you just dab a little hot sauce on there, a little Bumblefoot hot sauce? Is that what you're doing? Just to add to the flavor or what?
Well, you can certainly do it that way because one of the ways that they actually tenderize the meat is sonic impact. And Bumblefoot could do that quite nicely.
Oh, it's fantastic, my friend.
And yes, by the way, we will go there. Change the pitch of the sonic impact, and you change the flavor of the food. Oddly enough, that applies to Terran food as well.
Do you put some potatoes on the side, mash them up, or some carrots and peas? Little garnish on the side just to make the plate look pretty?
Well, I've never been one for dressing up the plate. I'm not eating the plate. You know, and I'm not dating the thing, so I certainly don't care what it looks like personally. My stipulation when it comes to eating anything is the dang thing is not allowed to be moving when I go to eat it.
So you don't like octopus?
Oh, I love octopus. I just don't like octopus when it's still alive. Although I've got some really neat friends that are octopod.
We got about 3 minutes left, Keith, until we go to break at the top of the hour. Buddy, I don't know how to top this. I think we've officially peak wooed here. I'm waiting for Derek. I'm waiting for Derek on Twitter at #SpacedOutRadio to be posting something here about this because he loves it when you go all peak woo like this. And he's nowhere to be seen.
On a whole different ball game.
Oh, holy cow! All right, let's get to another question here. Stardust Man in Revolution Radio chat room is asking, "What's your thoughts on black goo?"
It's a great garnish. No.
Oh my goodness. Oh, okay. Sorry. Oh, thank God we got a break in 90 seconds. All right, Black Goo. This is what... This is what's believed is dropped by planes who unload chemtrails.
Okay, try that one again.
I don't know if I can. Black Goo. All right. Black Goo is what people believe comes off of planes when the chemtrails come down.
Black goo is caused by something a whole lot more complicated, but basically they are correct as far as being a chemical offshoot. It is one of those things that contact with it is just plain suicidal. Okay, all kidding aside, it is a chemical offshoot, but putting your hand into it, or getting a hold of it, is a bad idea at best, unless you happen to be very versed at handling toxic material. Because the toxins and the chemical combinations that are in that stuff, never mind it causing some sort of illness that'll kill you over time, it'll kill you in minutes. But on the plus side, there is actually a secondary compound that is also made to counteract that mess.
Keith, on that note, we're going to break here. 2 hours down, 1 hour to go on Spaced Out Radio. Remember, if you find some black goo, put a little bit on your chicken or your aliens or whatever. Apparently, according to Keith, it's a good garnish. We'll be back with Hour 3 of Spaced Out Radio right after this.
Come hang out with Spaced Out Radio, where we own the night. This is Carl. You can follow Dave on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio, and during the show, use the hashtag Spaced Out Radio to chat with us live. On Instagram, at Dave Scott SOR. On Facebook, give our page a like, Spaced Out Radio Show. SOR archives are free on YouTube at Spaced Out Radio. Come join us, or I will come join you. See you at your window.
At spacedoutradio.com, we have a little bit of everything for you to stay up late. So while you're there, check out our SOR Newswire, where our team brings you stories of the weird and strange to the WTF from around the globe. News on Bigfoot, UFOs, paranormal, Darwinian-type crime tales. It's the stories that the mainstream media usually won't touch. Well, we got them all on the SOR Newswire, only at spacedoutradio.com.
On the first Tuesday of every month, I encourage you to come along for a journey with me, Geraldine Orozco, on The Spiritual You. Together, we will take a look at how to access the highest expression of yourself and change your life. Consciousness, ET contact, health, and wellness, we can talk about it all. So come along for a spiritual ride with me, Geraldine Orozco, on The Spiritual You, only on Spaced Out Radio.
Visit purpleplates.com today. For over 40 years, the Purple Energy Plates have been delivering amazing results for their many customers. Inspired by the great genius Nikola Tesla, the harmony, healing, and energetic effects of the plates have proven over and over to be beneficial and often miraculous to thousands of customers. Check their site for daily specials and choose from their many energy products. You won't be sorry. Visit them today at purpleplates.com.
Looking for a place to advertise at a very reasonable cost? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. SpacedOutRadio.com has an advertising tab that you can click to check out our daily, weekly, and monthly packages to play on the radio, or our website including social media. From commercial spots to banners, we have it all. Check out our competitive pricing today.
Heading to Vancouver and looking for a night on the town? The Moose Vancouver is the bar that never stops rocking until 2 a.m. every night. The Moose has great food with everything on the menu from $6.95 to $8.95. Fantastic, vibrant staff and rock and roll that will bring you back to when the music was real, the hair was long, and the guitars were rocking. Get your party on at the Moose Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Get your horns up with me on Spaced Out Radio. This is Ron Bumblefoot Thal. Come tune in to SOR where you can hear me rock out with Little Brother is Watching, the official theme song of Spaced Out Radio. And then come on over to bumblefoot.com where you can find out about my tour schedule, my music, and everything else. Bumblefoot.com keeps you up to date on what I'm doing and the best way to stay in touch with my music and music camps. Sign up for my newsletter at bumblefoot.com and remember, Little Brother is Watching.
The freedom to post what you want, when you want. That's the social media freedom you need. Social Media Freedom is the free app in your app store. No need to worry about going to jail or being shadow banned any longer. It's the freedom to say what you feel. The freedom to know Big Brother isn't watching. It's the way social media is supposed to be. Social Media Freedom. It's time to set yourself free. Download from your app store today.
Come get spooked at the 4th Annual Forest Moon Paracon in Cedar-Woolley, Washington, Saturday, September 28th. UFOs, ghosts, aliens, Bigfoot. Speakers include Mike Morin and Jason Jordan, R. Keith Andrews, and Dave Scott from Spaced Out Radio, and so much more. There will be workshops and a VIP roundtable. Get early bird tickets now at fmparacon.com.
Find your escape where time has no limits. It's about living today and cherishing the heritage of yesterday. A spirit of adventure for what is new with the nostalgia of the past. Your timepiece is a reflection of who you are. Life surrounded by beauty from the world around us to the soul within. EscapeWatches.com. There is no time like the present to enjoy your escape. Use promo code SMF2017 for your 20% discount today. Is ready to roll in Toronto this September 21st and 22nd at the Alien Cosmic Expo. This year is about the experience. Listen to the stories of Dave Scott, Travis Walton, Paula Harris, Grant Cameron, Ryan Stacey, Richard Dolan, Leslie Mitchell-Clark, and more. Get your tickets now at aliencosmicexpo.com.
We are getting ready to relaunch the SOR Space Travelers Club at spacedoutradio.com. For $5 a month, you can join us for a plethora of features found nowhere else. Hang out in a private chat room during the show and after party. You can check out some exclusive content and a store specifically for you, as well as a private listener forum where you can post your thoughts, stories, and pictures. The SOR Space Travelers Club, coming soon to spacedoutradio.com.
The Call of the Wild is in Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is one of the hottest bars and restaurants in the city. Open until 2 a.m. nightly, the Moose will rock you like a hurricane all night long. Great food with everything on the menu at $6.95 near the corner of Nelson and Granville. Get your horns up and come rock with us. The Moose Vancouver, the official rocking bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Looking for the stories of the strange and weird that you will find hard to find anywhere else? Check out the SOR Newswire on our website. Our writers, led by Captain Shirk, are scouring the world for the oddest and most bizarre stories we can find. Everything from weird crime to suspenseful and paranormal. We're working hard for you to bring you the most intriguing news of your day. Check out the SOR Newswire at spacedoutradio.com today.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7 with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
Would you like to connect with us? Head to spacedoutradio.com for all your latest show info. Now, back to Dave Scott and SOR.
We're trying to survive peak woot here on Spaced Out Radio tonight as we enter hour number 3. I am your host, Dave Scott. Thank you so much for being with us. Tomorrow night on the show and Sunday, it's Spaced Out Weekend with Tessa Nicole Thomas, only at spacedoutradio.com. She gets going at 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern, so make sure you tune on in. Hi to everyone listening in, probably with a curious look on your face on our terrestrial affiliates, KZFX 93.7 FM in Ridgecrest, California, KDUN AM 1030 in Reedsport, Oregon, WQEE 99.1 FM in Newnan, Georgia, and UPRN 107.7 FM in New Orleans. On the digital side, hi to everyone listening in on Revolution Radio and Deep Talk Radio. Remember, all of our archives are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. Thaumatrope. Thaumatrope is your password. Make sure you use it wisely, Space Travelers, as the Clam sets the password each and every night right here on the mighty SOR. Our website, currently under construction, it is spacedoutradio.com. You can still tune in to hear the show, but it's going to look good in just a couple short weeks. Our Keith Andrews is our guest tonight on Spaced Out Radio. He's taking us to peak woo tonight. And Keith, I do have to say that one of my station owners is listening in. And he's like, man, this has hit rock bottom. This has just hit rock bottom. He goes, yep, it's all downhill from here. And I gotta tell you, if you missed this portion, the last portion of the show, you can't help but laugh. You cannot help but laugh. So make sure you check it out on our YouTube channel. That is for sure. Keith, welcome back.
And thanks again for having me, and welcome to everybody else. I wonder how many people are still here.
I don't know. Got another peak woo question from Robin. He's saying in 1992, a couple went into outer space when they were taken. Apparently, they had a little Mile High Club adventure. Wife got pregnant. They called this a Starchild. What would your response to be to that?
Okay. I will grant this. I think they overshot the Mile High thing. But it was bound to happen sometime. I mean, they certainly, likelihood they got into the record books as the first couple to actually get that far. The question I'd be asking is, okay, now, what citizenship does it get? Is that a true Starchild? No. Assuming that both mother and father were human, you're still dealing with another human, just born in a different location.
But what if she got pregnant up in space but had the child down here?
Well, I'd call it dual citizenship, except for the fact that you can't be a member of the other. The other ones don't have a definitive border for the country.
Okay.
Exactly how you work with that one.
Put up a space
That's
wall.
what politicians figure out.
Put up a space wall. All right, B has a question. She is asking, Keith, just how does the Galactic Consortium feel about you eating alien races?
Well, it boils down to this. If you invite somebody over to share dinner, it's a good thing, it's a good idea to actually do your best. Now, do understand, it's very much like going to any other foreign culture. when they put something on the table, do your best to work with it. There are foods on this planet that, frankly, I just can't see myself sitting down to. And it's nothing against the people or the foods. It's just I have a problem with certain textures. From their standpoint, the fact that I was willing was actually a plus from their perspective.
Follow up from B?
Go ahead.
Let's follow up from B. Were they raised on a farm or are they organic?
Well, that's the easy part. When you're dealing with that sort of thing, it depends entirely on where the individual grew up. But as far as are they organic, if they're edible, they're organic.
Oh. Okay. I think I've gathered my composure here for a second. Don't know how much longer, but let's see here. The audience is loving it. I'm not going to lie. The audience is loving it. But
well, this is good.
Wow.
Well, I did say there were a few questions I wouldn't answer. And if I'm not going to answer them, I'll come out and tell you.
Dale is asking, did you get respect from the reptilians for eating them?
Not the ones that were on the dinner table. No, they were already dead. As far as the people at the table, though, quite frankly, it would have been far more disrespectful not to join them in dinner. But do understand, in that particular case, you're talking about a situation where they went out of their way to make sure that I could. Because normally, without getting overly graphic and without really turning people unhappy, normally it's a lot more primal, if you will, the way they deal with dinner. But they also are built differently than humans are.
Oh.
The real key factor to dealing with anybody off-world or anybody on-world is you have to respect their culture when you're in their area. Hence the societal law that is enforced. You must honor the laws of the land in which you are. Now, there are certain extenuating circumstances. There are many people that would not even consider, sharing in some of their foods.
Okay.
But, simply put, I was asked at the time, if it mattered to me, and I looked at him, and my immediate comment was the same thing it's always been down here. Well, it's already dead. I don't have to worry about it. My stipulation on food has always been, if it ain't moving, I'm usually pretty good.
Let me ask you this then. What do aliens think of human food? And I'm not saying the humans. I'm saying whether it's beef, pork, fish.
You're talking about, whether we're talking about what humans eat.
Yeah.
Some of them are quite happy with it, especially the vegetarian-based ones are quite happy with the variety of vegetables. As a matter of fact, it's kind of odd for them because of the variety that Earth actually produces. There is very little that there are a couple of herbs that some of the races cannot eat, like not the least of which the Shadow Walkers definitively do not like garlic, especially not in heavy quantities. I think I'm probably wrong, you can correct me on this, but is it not the Italians that tend to cook with a lot of garlic?
More so the Ukrainians.
Okay. Because I will tell you, there are some races that just do not like that kind of food.
Oh, they don't know what they're dealing with then. They don't know what they're missing.
No, it's their sense of taste where it comes to the intensity of garlic that they have a problem with. intriguingly enough, that's where the shadow walkers where the myth about the shadow walkers comes from. Shadow walkers, by the way, for those who don't recognize them, are also known as vampires in human terms.
Right.
They do not like heavy doses of garlic, but it's not because of the fact that they're allergic to it. It's because their sense of taste is so heightened. Net result, garlic is, to say the least, a little overpowering.
I like it. Throw a little horseradish on there, too.
Yeah, but it's got to be properly made horseradish.
True. Very true. All right, let's move on to another question here. This one coming from Joe. And he is asking, give me 2 seconds here. He is asking, question, Keith, if you had a choice, which alien race would you introduce to the world and how would you do it?
That would depend entirely on the mood I was in. And I know that sounds really dark and twisted, but rest assured, that is the answer. But the first rule of thumb is the easiest way. Now, I've got no problem with the idea of throwing the world into panic. And so the best way, in my opinion, if you're going to do it, it's kind of like taking a Band-Aid off. Drop it in the middle of it and let people figure it out.
Right.
I wouldn't pick one race over another. Not for the best outcome. Well, for the most balanced outcome, let's put it that way. But there are days that, quite frankly, and this is, and I'll apologize ahead of time, Dave, because this takes on kind of a dark outlook. When I said there were times that I am ready to walk away from this mess.
Yes.
Right. Those would be about the same time that I would be interested in introducing the tech-like into the population en masse.
Right.
Not a good outcome for the population.
Right. I guess I could understand that. Could very much understand that.
But, the reality is that done right, it could work. But you would have to flood the airwaves and the video with information about them. And and get people past that neat little idea, they're coming, they're going to take over the government, they're going to take over the world, and they're going to take our jobs.
They took our jobs.
There are certain jobs that humans, number one, don't want to do, and much more importantly, there are a number they can't do. Much as the ocean needs cleaning, humans cannot walk along the bottom of the ocean for very long, whereas aquatic base can. But you'd have to do a massive media, and it wouldn't be a week or two. You'd be looking at a few years of information before even getting close to it. And like it or not, and this is the one thing you make absolutely certain of, you keep the scientists off the front row because you don't turn the aliens over to them to figure out how they tick, aside from turning one doctor over to another to discuss it.
Right. Makes sense. All right. Let's move on here. Catherine is asking, what if their ritual was eating humans?
I'm presuming she's referring to would it bother me. Well, she ain't going to like this one much. And it's going to sound really twisted, but take it any way you want it. The reality is, we still go back to the original statement. If I don't have to kill the thing, or if it's already not moving, then frankly, it is simply organic intake. Now, don't get me wrong. There's a whole pile of things that go along with human death. And there was a movie out years ago called Soylent Green. I think you'd remember it, Dave.
Yes.
Late 60s. I think it was Charlton Heston, but I could be wrong on the actor. well done movie, and did answer quite literally the same thing. But, I was raised to believe, and I don't think Mom and Dad intended this one to eat was put on the table in front of you for dinner. I have less trouble with cooked meat of whatever source I do with live insects, which some humans on this planet do eat. And it's, insects are extremely high in protein. I still don't like the texture.
I gotta ask these, Keith. Comment Revolution Radio is asking, if I buy a bucket of alien fingers, can I get them delivered?
Well, here's the problem. At this point in time, no. Give another 200 years, it wouldn't be a shock.
Oh, my goodness.
Although knowing human sensitivities, you may have to resort to black market shipping.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, I must say, Dave, this show has definitely gone way off track.
This is way peak woo. Way peak woo. Chuck, who owns KZFX, is asking, Keith, do you keep your aliens in the freezer like a pot pie? Put them in the oven for some ET hot pockets?
Now, that would depend. And number one, in my freezer, not a prayer. I still stick to, quite frankly, traditional Terran food.
Oh, my goodness. All right. Wow. I don't know. You know what? If this is our last show ever together, I don't know how we could ever top this.
Well, if it's our last show, obviously we wouldn't.
Oh, I don't know how we top this next month. I really don't. Oh, my goodness. All right, let's get to another question here. And Robin is asking, can Soylent Green be used to grow an alien food or aliens themselves?
Well, technically the answer would be no, not really well. Soylent Green itself, the food was already processed, and as anybody that's in food manufacturing can attest to, once you process food, it is useless for fertilization. So growing something in processed food on the whole doesn't work.
Jade is asking, is alien meat the answer to the methane problem created by cows?
Nobody can answer the problem with the methane created, although there is something they did find out. Methane created by some animals' digestion works beautifully as a fuel source. It also works pretty decent as a heat source. You just have to have the right technology built in the right way to actually process it properly.
I see.
So, I mean, sad to say, there is a very simple way of utilizing methane off of something as prolific as garbage dumps. There is very easy technology to build to utilize it, where they could pull it up and actually reissue it or resell it as a fuel source. But humans are a little slow on figuring this out.
Oh, my goodness.
Hey, you're the one that reads the questions. I just give you the answer.
I know, and I'm trying to edit them right now, and I'm having difficulty because the audience is on peak woo overload in the chat rooms right now. Goddess Michelle on Twitter at #SpacedOutRadio. Were the alien ribs juicy?
You do realize that alien ribs have to be bone?
Well,
so the
meat
ribs
along
themselves, definitely not. I
The meat
presume she
around
means
them.
meat.
Yes.
And the answer is yes. And cooked properly, ribs are always juicy.
Were they putting a slow cooker up on the ship or what?
No, they usually refer to it as flash fry.
Oh.
Well, if you're going to cook something, they don't usually, and you got to remember, these guys have a tendency of eating live or next to it. Fortunately for me, they weren't that interested. They weren't worried about whether I did or not. Number one, my teeth aren't built the same way theirs are.
Right.
However, there are ways to cook something very quickly where it cooks right through and still stays moist. I do not recommend this for other people, but one way, there is a way that you can emulate it to a degree. They call it jet fuel. Burns like you wouldn't believe. It has a kind of funny flavor to it, but what the heck?
Nikki is asking, what alien species would take children into space, do whatever, and eventually return them home to their families?
Shorter answer would be which ones wouldn't. The ones that are most likely, and it wouldn't be a case of pick them up and take them away and then bring them back, so much as rescue them from a bad situation and return them once the situation is dealt with. The most likely ones to pull that off would be the Nordics, who are very clan-oriented. Very clan-oriented, very family-oriented. The last thing that you would ever find in a Nordic family is the father beating the daylights out of either the kid or the mother. At least not without the rest of the community beating the daylights out of the father.
True. Keith, under a minute to go here on Spaced Out Radio with you. Thank you so much for an entertaining night, my friend. Do me a favor, let everybody know where they can find your videos, your books, how they can get a hold of you.
Easiest way to find me, YouTube is R. Keith Andrews. That's where you'll find my channel with all the videos. At the bottom of the videos, I do have a whole pile of other ways of getting a hold of me, not the least of which is a direct email to innervoiceenterprises@yahoo.ca. Or you can find me on Facebook at R. Keith Andrews, or more likely Ronald Keith Andrews. But just look for the hand-carved UFO. That's what I've got for both it and my company page at Inner Voice Enterprises. Both of them have the hand-carved UFO.
Beautiful. Beautiful, my friend. R. Keith, we will talk to you on June 7th.
Absolutely.
A lot of fun tonight. I don't know how we're going to beat this one, my friend, but thanks for going major peak woo with us tonight. Coming up next, the SOR Newswire and the Thought of the Dave to finish off the week. We'll be back.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for having me, and take care, everybody.
We're bringing scientific thought to the paranormal. Hi there, this is Spaced Out Radio scientist Chris Cogswell. Join me, Chris Zuger, and Dave Scott the second Wednesday of every month, where we break down the who from the woo when it comes to everything paranormal. We'll investigate and try to bring sensible answers to those straight and sometimes outlandish questions people have. Hey, not everything has an answer, but we'll do our best. Listen in to Reality Paranormal only on Spaced Out Radio.
Coming up this September 21st and 22nd, all UFO eyes will be focused on Toronto for the 4th Annual Alien Cosmic Expo. Come listen to some of the biggest names and experiencers in ufology. Travis Walton, Paul Hellyer, Richard Dolan, Paula Harris, Grant Cameron, Randy Kramer, and Spaced Out Radio's own Dave Scott. Tickets are on sale now at aliencosmicexpo.com.
Looking for a place to advertise at a very reasonable cost? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. SpacedOutRadio.com has an advertising tab that you can click to check out our daily, weekly, and monthly packages to play on the radio, or our website including social media. From commercial spots to banners, we have it all. Check out our competitive pricing today.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
A timepiece is a reflection of who you are, and what better way to show off the real you than with an Escape watch? Escape is a lifestyle brand accessorizing your days and nights. Choose to escape and create the life of discovery that you deserve. Dream, play, unite with your own personalized Escape watch. Head to escapewatches.com. There is no time like the present to enjoy your escape. Use promo code SMF2017 for your 20% discount today.
You hear footsteps in the empty room above you. A rocking chair begins rocking by itself. Don't be afraid of the things that go bump in the night. Reach for Spirit Storybox, the iPhone app the Huffington Post UK called the only ghost hunting app you will ever need. Spirit Storybox. The spirits are telling their stories. Are you listening?
Coming soon to our website, spacedoutradio.com, is the SOR Space Travelers Club. For just $5 a month, you can get into a private area on our site where you can hang with other listeners in our chat room, post in our forum, and check out a bunch of exclusive content and store that won't be found anywhere else, including a nightly after-show party with Dave. It's going to be the best $5 a month you're going to spend. The SOR Space Travelers, only at spacedoutradio.com.
Come get spooked at the 4th Annual Forest Moon Paracon in Cedar-Woolley, Washington, Saturday, September 28th. UFOs, ghosts, aliens, Bigfoot. Speakers include Mike Morin and Jason Jordan, R. Keith Andrews, and Dave Scott from Spaced Out Radio, and so much more. There will be workshops and a VIP roundtable. Get early bird tickets now at fmparacon.com. Heading to Vancouver and looking for a night on the town? The Moose Vancouver is the bar that never stops rocking until 2 a.m. every night. The Moose has great food with everything on the menu from $6.95 to $8.95. Fantastic, vibrant staff and rock and roll that will bring you back to when the music was real, the hair was long, and the guitars were rocking. Get your party on at the Moose Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7 with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
Did you know Spaced Out Radio runs 7 days a week? Hi there, this is Tessa Nicole Thomas, and I'm here to take you on a paranormal journey each Saturday and Sunday night. Why change the station when you have it all right here? Together, we'll hang out and share some strange and scary stories. And don't forget, we have Psychic Sundays as well, so come tune in Spaced Out Weekend. We get going at 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern, only at spacedoutradio.com, where we own the night.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thal, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
Visit purpleplates.com today. For over 40 years, the Purple Energy Plates have been delivering amazing results for their many customers. Inspired by the great genius Nikola Tesla, the harmony, healing, and energetic effects of the plates have proven over and over to be beneficial and often miraculous to thousands of customers. Check their site for daily specials and choose from their many energy products. You won't be sorry. Visit them today at purpleplates.com.
Are you tired of being blocked, shadow banned, or placed in jail for simply posting your thoughts on social media? Social Media Freedom can take care of that for you. Social Media Freedom is the newest and one of the best free new apps that allows you the freedom to post what you want, when you want. It takes seconds to download from your app store. Come join the tribe at Social Media Freedom. It's time to set yourself free.
We've rounded third. We're heading for home tonight on Spaced Out Radio. I am your host, Dave Scott, hanging out in the frozen Canadian tundra, bringing you all into the weekend. Thank you so much for spending your night with us around here. And, of course, the major peak woo we had with R. Keith Andrews. But we're going to keep it going. We're going to get into the SOR Newswire, put together by Captain Shirk, our news director, as we get into the weird, the wacky, the head scratchers in the news of the day. The news is always changing. I will bring you the SOR Newswire, the back end of every show, where we get into the weird, the strange, the wacky. But we're going to start off with actually something kind of serious here right off the bat. This evening, a jet carrying 143 people skid it off the runway at NAS Jacksonville, and it landed in a river. A commercial jet, a Boeing 737, was arriving around 9:40 p.m. Eastern from Naval Station Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, coming in for a landing, and the Miami Air International plane slid right off the runway and into the St. Johns River. All people on board, thankfully, are alive and accounted for. 21 people were taken and transported to hospital. According to JFRD spokesperson Tom Francis, he said the patients were in good condition. No one has critical injuries. Francis said, as I was en route here, I heard that we had no critical injuries. To say that I was swiping sweat off my brow would be an understatement. This is really reminiscent. Do you remember when that jet landed in the Hudson River in New York? Kind of looks the same. The jet is just kind of sitting there in the river, not moving. It's eerie in a way. You got to check out the pictures. I'm just glad that nobody was killed. They don't know what caused it yet. They don't know if it was severe weather to blame for the crash. The National Transportation Safety Board is investigating. But the main thing is 143 people, all alive. Could have been tragic. Could have been tragic, but it's not. So that's kind of cool. National Paranormal Day is about to come to an end for the majority of us, unless you're in Alaska or Hawaii. If you've ever experienced something beyond the norm or had an inexplicable otherworldly happening, you've stumbled on the right day, because it's National Paranormal Day for those fascinated by the unknowable other side. If you don't know your normal from your paranormal, don't worry. Just celebrate it. Have a drink on the ghosts. Isn't that what it's all about? Interesting facts about ghosts in the United States. 90% of Americans are scared of the paranormal. 15% of Americans like to watch ghost shows on TV. I think that's higher. 12% of Americans think the government knows more about aliens than it's letting on. Oh, I think that stat is really, really low. 10% of Americans have had a paranormal experience, and only 4% of Americans think their house is haunted. Now, as we do know, men are slightly more skeptical than women about ghosts. 18% of women don't believe in ghosts compared to 22% of men. 38% of women claim to have seen a ghost, while only 29% of men stay the same. So how do you promote Paranormal Day? Go visit a graveyard. Throw a spooky party. Explore a haunted house. Make connections with others, even the dead. Interesting. I still think those stats are low. Another eerie story that turned out pretty good. High schoolers Heather Brown and Tyler Smith were answered, or had their prayers answered, after they were washed out to sea, and the boat that rescued them was named Amen. The two seniors from Christchurch Academy in Jacksonville, Florida, decided to hit the beach with a group of friends on senior skip day 2 weeks ago, where it almost turned deadly. Pair jumped into the water at Volano Beach, but made the mistake of trying to swim farther than they were able. The young Smith said, "Me and Heather's idea originally was to swim to an island. We thought we were the strong enough and the courageous ones of the group. Eventually, one turned around, and next." Heather said, "I asked Tyler, do you want to keep going?" He said, "I don't care. Let's go for it." But the pair, now the only ones still in the group swimming, were caught up in a current that continued to pull them out deeper into the ocean. By the time they were trying to get back, they couldn't. They were being pushed out further and further. They're lucky they didn't get eaten by sharks. So they swam to a red buoy, grabbed onto it, and decided to wait until someone was going to rescue them. And that's when the boat Amen pulled up. That's pretty coincidental. Eric Wagner, the boat's captain, was about 200 yards away when he saw the teens. He thought their vessel, like a kayak or something, had sunk. They were stranded and have life jackets on and were waiting for us to pick them up. But as he approached, there were no life jackets, just two frightened teens. So he picked them up and said, "I don't know if this was dumb luck or if it was the hand of God." Makes you think. If you're going to the border, well, the United States Customs and Border Protection is going to be sniffing you out. Not the men and women, but their new team of 60 beagles at international airports, ports, and border crossings. Why? They are searching for the elusive hidden pork products from regions experiencing African swine fever. The Beagle Brigade, which has patrolled ports of entry since the 1980s, is on the job. And with the African swine fever threat looming, got to keep it out. The virus, which is deadly to pigs but not transmittable to humans, has no vaccine or treatment, spreading quickly throughout China and other Asian countries, crippling their pork industries. Prevention, says Liz Swagstrom, chief veterinarian at the National Pork Producers Council, is the best defense. In October, a beagle discovered a roasted pig head from Ecuador in a traveler's luggage. Really? Who carries a roasted pig head in their luggage? Why? I don't get this. Don't get it at all. Who does that? Anyways, they're doing this because if there is a small outbreak, like say one of these sick pigs, even though it's dead, will get through, containment will be fairly easy thanks to the beagles, that is. The animals will be humanely euthanized and the farm will be clean and there will be heavy surveillance of other pigs in the area. But if the larger outbreak happens, this gets more complicated. This reminds me a few years ago, probably 10, 15 years ago now. My dad was running a marketing board in the chicken industry when the avian flu hit. That was scary. Literally millions of chickens and ducks and geese had to be put down because there was so much infection going around. Got to be careful of that stuff. Scary. There's a big debate going on about social media again and freedom of speech. After years of pressure to crack down on hate and bigotry, Facebook has banned people like Alex Jones and Louis Farrakhan and other extremists, saying they violated its ban on dangerous individuals. Now, it's being decried as censorship by several of those who got the axe. The move signals a renewed effort by social media giants to remove people and groups promoting objectionable material such as hate, racism, and anti-Semitism. And removing the best-known figures of the U.S. political extreme takes away an important virtual megaphone that Facebook has provided the likes of people like Jones and Milo Yiannopoulos and others. But it does not address what might be the lesser-known figures that stay within the margins of what Facebook allows. Now, critics praised the move, but said there's more to be done on Facebook and Instagram especially. Dipan Ghosh, a former Facebook executive and Internet's policy expert at Harvard, says the ban isn't as big a step as Facebook appears to be painting it. It's just enforcing its existing policies. Goes on to say there will always be more purveyors of hate speech that will try to come from these platforms. Will advocates have to push year after year just to get a handful of individuals off? At this rate, it seems likely. Facebook says the newly banned accounts violated its policy against dangerous individuals and organizations. The company says it has always banned people or groups that proclaim a violent or hateful mission or are engaged in acts of hate, violence, or regardless of their political ideology. Interesting. Here's a weird story. There's a movie coming out about Ted Bundy, the serial killer who was executed in 1989. One of the actresses in this film, called the extremely wicked, shockingly evil and vile star, all right, Lily Collins is her name, says she believes she was visited by ghosts of Ted Bundy's victims, but the actress says she didn't feel scared. So the 30-year-old opened up about her supernatural experience, saying she'd wake up every night at 3:05 a.m. while preparing for the role of Bundy's ex-girlfriend, Elizabeth Klopfer. She says, I would go downstairs and have a cup of tea, try to figure out what I had woken up again, or why I had. I started being woken up by flashes of images like the aftermath of a struggle. Curious about what she was experiencing, she turned to research to try and understand what was happening. She said, I discovered that 3 a.m. is the time when the veil between the realms is the thinnest and one can be visited. Watching a lot of Paranormal State there. She says, I didn't feel scared. I felt supported. I felt like people were saying, we're here listening. We're here to support. Thank you for telling the story. Now, this show that's being filmed follows the story of Bundy's crimes through the perspective of Klopfer, a single mother who began dating him in the 70s. It's part of a Netflix docuseries. It's going to be strange. It's going to be very, very strange. Finally, Flagler County, Florida, deputies were surprised by a Speedo-wearing Florida man who wanted to show off his marijuana plant to them. 65-year-old Arthur Carasino, who was smoking a doob at the time, approached the deputies who were responding to an unrelated call. He then showed him his 2-foot-tall marijuana plant Didn't claim if it was the hippie lettuce or not. Said he was growing on his property. The deputies asked him if he had a marijuana card. Told him he was working on it. He was arrested on a marijuana charge. Yeah. Not the brightest. I mean, how do you walk up to a police officer, first off, when you got like a Hawaiian shirt that's unbuttoned, your booze belly is sticking out, and you're in a blue Speedo? No, that doesn't say stable at all, does it? But it's a good way to head into the thought of the Dave. Thought of the Dave happens every night at this time, where we ask a question on our Facebook and Twitter pages and then read your responses on the air, because we love the audience participation around here. So today's Thought of the Dave is as follows. What's your opinion about the purpose of ET hybrid children? Sticking with the peak woo from R. Keith Andrews tonight. Start off with Goddess Michelle on Twitter. Well, speaking to genetics, it may be to breed out undesirable traits and to enhance strengths. That is what most crossbreeding is done for, to genetically make superior. All right. That makes sense, I guess. Brett, to suffer our race's intrinsic violence and hatred, to suffer our asinine society, to suffer our poor excuses for healthcare and innovation. I like my healthcare. Suffer our failures to teach us how to be better and lead us into the next level of density. You are my density. Hope you get that. Samuel. Well, it can't be as bad as the purpose of regular humans. Claudia. Well, we could also ask, why did the Nazis experiment on people? That's a little low. Amy. Why does Manning experiment? Why will we need... Or pardon me, why... Okay, come on. You got to write this stuff clean so I can read this. Yeah, I can't do that one. Can't do that one. Nope. There's some bad words in there, some bad lingo. All right, JWB. Can they hit to all fields with runners in scoring position? If they can, you know the Yankees are going to sign them. Let's go, Yankees. UFO Hunter. To possibly ease in the transition coming up, whatever that could be, Earth changes and society changes are going to be painful if not handled correctly. Graham, seers and mediums for the art of viewing the far-off parts of the universe, Dave, my friend. It changes the paradigm. Julien, bonjour. In the long run, it's going to change the environment. Every new kind of intelligent life have a major influence on it. Well, that's one way to put it. UFO and D-Board says, one or more species are mucking around with our DNA for purposes we can't imagine yet. We need to make official contact with the other good species to find out the whole picture about ET civilizations that fill our galaxies and have been manipulating humanity for millennia. Let's go over to Facebook. Reverend Keith, this is a preacher's answer, but here goes. The ET hybridization is to destroy the image of God in humanity. This has far more implications that can be written here. Allison thinks it's possible. Robin, I think there's purpose, or their purpose is to help out the human race and help heal the planet. This is why they keep on visiting you and gave you the Sumerians and Mayans knowledge relics that have been found that are ahead of their time. William, I have not yet seen any scientifically verified evidence of such a scenario. Lots of testimony recovered during the hypnosis sessions, but medical professionals are cautious about such techniques. Tim, assimilation, of course, to their new planet. And David gets a final word heading into the weekend. Everybody needs a pet. Oh, how cute. That's your thought of the day. We'll bring it back on Monday. Big thank you to Captain Shirk for putting our news together on the SOR Newswire, which can be found on Facebook right now until our site is up and running in the next couple of weeks. Also want to give a big shout out to our Keith Andrews for coming on in for the ET Connection the first Friday of every month, as Keith will be back on June 7th. And we'll do it all again. I don't know how we're going to top this one. I really don't. We hit extreme peak woo. We've hit peak woo before, but we hit extreme peak woo. Remember, if you missed this show, go to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. You can catch the archives for free. We got Mr. Ron Bumblefoot THAL rocking in the background with Little Brother is Watching. Bumblefoot is the official music of Spaced Out Radio, rocking us in and out of every single show. Get your horns up for the guitar god himself. Special thanks to everybody this week listening in at home, in your cars, at work, in our chat rooms on Rev Radio, Spreaker, the SOR Space Travelers on Facebook, and everybody on Twitter at #SpacedOutRadio, wherever you may be. Remember, this show is copyright by Spaced Out Radio and the SOR Media Ventures Limited. Hey, thanks for spreading the word this week, doing your part to make us bigger and better every single night, because together, my friends, we own the night. I will talk to you on Monday. Mr. Bumblefoot, we need a favor. We need you to take us home. Have a great weekend, everybody. I know I'm going to enjoy it. Get some rest, relax, have some fun. You deserve it. Good night.